In this video, I'm going to be exposing the $147,000 a month online sports coach sales funnel of Ian Jenkins hitting. You can see right here. Here's his Stripe account last 4 weeks, $147,000. This is a couple days ago. I had a $9,000 day. I'm going to be exposing his entire marketing strategy, what he's doing to generate leads, what he's doing to get people on the phone and close them into his program to actually make $147,000. Without further ado, let's dive in. If this is your first time here, my name is Nick Neville. I run an online consulting company helping sports coaches achieve time and financial freedom by implementing the online mentorship model so they can train more athletes, make more money, and live a life of real freedom. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I get a lot of questions, or especially Ian gets a lot of questions about what he's doing. And some of my clients will ask me, what is Ian doing? So he was so kind. He didn't have to let me do this, but he was so kind to let me pull back the curtain and show you guys exactly what he's doing. So without further ado, let's dive right in. The first thing we need to understand is a little bit of background, okay? So if you've never seen this stuff before, his I help statement is I help high school hitters gain plus 8 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour of throwing, and half a second off their 60-yard dash guaranteed, or it's free. You might be thinking, how does he do that? Well, he's got an awesome program, and he only sells to the right people who he can actually help achieve that result. And yes, if they don't hit that result and they track all their progress and they actually comply, he will in fact refund people. I've seen him do it. So the ideal athlete profile is high school hitters who need to increase their tools if they want to get recruited, noticed by scouts, and move on to the next level. Okay, as you can see right here, he's saying 8 miles an hour of exit velocity, throwing, and 60 time. Okay, so it's a big, bold claim for a gigantic audience that he's built up for himself. If you saw right here, 257,000 followers. Okay, and he's doing this with zero ad spend, which is insane. His price point is anywhere from $2,500 to $7,000, depending on the length of the program. I think they've sold some more expensive ones than that for like multi-year packages and things like that. But it's not a cheap program, right? And if you want to make $150,000 a month coaching athletes online, you're not going to do it selling $50 a month subscriptions. I hate to break it to you. I've never seen it happen before. And if it has happened, it's happened maybe 3 times, right? So the way that we found that it works best is to charge a high ticket price to go after a very serious type of athlete. Okay. Now, in terms of team, he's not doing this all on his own. So just to kind of give you an idea, he actually partnered with a guy to help him build out his program, who wasn't necessarily good at marketing, but is really good at getting athletes results, right? So he's got 2 coaches helping him on the client success side. He's got 2 DM setters, 1 salesperson, and then a couple admin team members. He basically hired his entire family. So his entire family's on payroll, and, they'll help out with either DM setting or, helping out with the content, different things like that. Not to, expose too much of the ins and outs of what he's doing, but he's got a whole operation, right? He's not just sitting there making a couple videos on Instagram, putting them out there and, hoping that people buy, right? He actually knows what he's doing. He's got a very dialed in structure, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys, okay? So we need to understand that Ian has a flywheel on his program, okay? So it starts off with him making content. He built his personal brand to, a couple 100,000 followers, like 100,000 followers before he ever started selling anything. So he had a lot of trust. Okay. And so he makes content to get attention. Then he'll get followers. These followers he'll have conversations with in the DMs. They'll do a paid consultation. This consultation is 25 USD. That's supposed to be a 5. Okay. The consultation is $25. And then on those consultations, they'll pitch him to be a client inside of their program. They'll get inside the program. They'll actually get results because they're great at what they do. Ian actually told me that the program that he has right now is the exact program that he wishes he had when he was a high school baseball player, right? So not only does he have a ton of conviction in what he's doing, but it's actually a really good program. And as a result, they get insane results. Like if you go on his page, some of his results that you get are like absolutely insane. You wouldn't even believe them. And then he just turns around and puts those results back into the content. Obviously, he has other ideas and stuff like that. But that is the flywheel that he's been able to implement, right? And the flywheel is complete with the results, okay? So you can make a decent amount of money not really having great results, but eventually you're going to be exposed. So the most key component here is the results, especially because you'll start getting referrals. People will re-sign with you. It's way better if you're actually good at what you do. So if you're not good at what you do, probably come back to this video when you are, okay? So here's the real sauce. I'm going to walk you through his entire marketing strategy, and Ian does a lot of what we teach inside of our program, Remote Training University. If you want to learn more about that, you can check out the link in the description. But he basically takes people through 3 stages, okay? The first stage is viral content, okay? The entire purpose of him making this content is to get views, right? I talk a lot about how you don't need tons of followers and stuff like that to make money online. It's true. But if you want to make $150,000 a month organically without ads, you're going to need to make content that is very viewable and easy to consume. And so here's an example of a piece of content that he makes. He makes lead magnets where he goes, comment legs for a free lower half tutorial with drills. You can go back here and find this. It's actually pinned on his profile. I'm not going to spend the entire video watching every single one of these videos. But he's basically giving away free stuff that is adjacent to what his core offer is going to help, right? A lot of people mess up lead magnets entirely. They're not adjacent to what the core offer is. The whole purpose of a lead magnet is to solve a very narrow problem that then reveals a much bigger problem. So a lot of people will give away the farm and their lead magnets, and then they're like, why does nobody want to buy my program? Well, that's why, because you missed the whole purpose, okay? Then this is probably the biggest unlock for him when he realized that videos of him and his dad go the most viral. Dad proves me wrong again. This got 1 million views. You guys can go back and find this, but he leverages the story of his dad exceptionally well. And also on top of that, one of the most viewable types of content that he makes is he basically says like, yeah, I hit the ball 115 miles an hour. Here's why you should listen to me. He's got videos of him hitting the ball 120. Like the number one rule that I can give to you guys that is applicable, because obviously not everybody is going to be Ian and nobody's going to be Ian, right? Ian's going to be himself, is to leverage what you have. Ian realized that he's really good at speaking to the camera. He's very charismatic. He's got a great relationship with his father, which they talk a lot about baseball with, and he can hit the ball harder than like 99.9999999% of the people on planet Earth. Okay? So, middle of funnel, okay? The whole purpose of the middle of funnel is to build the know, like, and trust factor, because people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And so what Ian is doing here, let me show you guys, free value-based videos. Here's how to hit more home runs. And if you notice, he's very bold in his claims, right? How to hit more home runs. Amazing. Okay? Then we got another dad video. These are awesome. He's got Father's Day in the tunnel. So this could technically be a video that's like, viral, but if you notice, like these clips, these like B-roll clips of him hitting, like these are going to go a lot more viral because they're a lot easier to watch than just that of him playing, okay? And then he'll do his own personal story, similar to like him hitting the ball super hard, or his experiences through his college journey, right? His tagline is, I failed so you don't have to. And people absolutely love that, because it's not like he's just saying that to get people to pay him money. He's saying that because he actually believes it. And if you watch his content, you can feel how genuine he is through his content. The number one thing that I want to stress here in all of his content and what Ian is doing is he is actually trying to help people, right? It sounds insane, but he's actually trying to help people. So if you're super selfish in all of your content, people are going to feel that. And people aren't going to want to work with you and stuff like that. So you got to actually be genuine and come from a place of wanting to lead with service. Okay. And then bottom of funnel, how do we actually get people to book in a call with our team? Okay. Something that Ian does better than just about anybody inside of my program is he posts proof, right? He's just got a ton of proof, and it's just showing like, hey, all velos jump by 10 plus miles an hour. Here are some metrics. Right? This just shows the program works if you do. Okay, so he's just building trust by showing that the program works. Then he's doing belief shifting content. This is kind of like a more advanced strategy. If you're a beginner, this is probably not something you need to do. But he says your mindset is killing your swing. That's your approach is wrong in practice. You're worried about swinging, right? So he's changing the way that people think, so that way they can align more with what they need to believe in order to join his program. And ideally, the beliefs that align joining his program also align with getting the best results inside of his program and becoming the best version of themselves as a baseball player. And then he'll do IG story polls, and I would even go as far to say just like Instagram stories. At the time of recording this video, he's actually got a client result on his story, right? So he's constantly posting on his story to interact with his audience and make them feel like they can really get to know him, okay? So that's the marketing strategy. Now, when it comes to the sales process, this is really the step-by-step that he goes through, okay? So the whole goal is to get somebody inside his Instagram DMs so they can book him in for a paid consultation with his team. And then on that call, obviously, they if they're the right fit, they sell him the program, right? So what he'll do is he'll post Instagram story polls. Do you want to hit the ball 100 miles an hour? Yes, no. Anybody that says yes, they reach out to and they have a conversation to see if they can help. What they also do is they do comment, call to action, lead magnets, kind of like I showed earlier. So he leverages this software called ManyChat. If you're not familiar with it, you could look it up after you watch this video. But somebody will comment like a keyword, and then they'll send over a resource to that person. And a lot of the people that join his program have commented on like 5 or 10 different videos before deciding to join inside of the program. Okay. Then he'll also do direct calls to action, which he'll just go on his story and he'll be like, hey, looking for 5 or 10 extra people inside of my program this month. Swipe up, send me this word, and we'll have a conversation to see if I can help. Also, people will sometimes just book a call with his team directly through the link in his bio, which is a little bit more rare because the consultation is paid. Okay. And then once they're inside the Instagram inbox, what they're going to do is they're going to, number one, they're going to figure out what their current situation is, make sure that they're actually qualified for the program. They're a high school hitter that wants to play in college and they're serious and they're willing to invest in themselves. Then they're going to figure out, what their goals are, figure out what the struggles are, and then they're going to present a consultation, which they'll send them to this page right here with a quick explainer video. We will build you a personalized rotational power program, right? It is, it's absolutely insane. And then he'll show some proof, right? He's got a great network. He's got a bunch of connections and he leverages that. And then he's got the frequently asked questions at the bottom of the landing page. Then schedule the call. The call, let's see. He's got like a quick application and then he's got a $25 fee on the call, so that way they're only talking with people, because there was a while where their show up rate to that call was exceptionally low. So what they did was they just made it $25, and now 90+% of people show up to that call, right? Now they're only talking to really serious, highly qualified athletes. If you're watching this right now and you don't have 250,000 followers, I highly recommend you don't do that, right? The reason Ian did that is because he had to figure out a way to add a little bit of friction. He had too many leads, right? And so they only take calls with parents and athletes on the call. They won't take a call if it's just the athlete. Okay. Now, once the call is booked, they have some pre-call resources. Obviously, they have that explainer video that I was mentioning earlier. They also have another one on the page after they book a call. I'm not going to show that to you guys on this call or on this video. But they have an explainer video that walks through, this is exactly how the program works. This is my background, et cetera, to build a little bit of trust, because you don't know how much or how little somebody knows about you by the time they book a call with your team. Then he's got FAQ videos on that page, plus testimonials, similar to what he has on the landing page. And then in terms of the actual sales call, he's got a really good salesperson who actually will show up to like my sales training calls for people inside of our scale program who are doing about $10,000 to $30,000 a month with online coaching already. And really what they're trying to do is they're trying to be consultative, they're trying to be helpful, and they're trying to serve the person. They're not trying to hard close, twist somebody's arm behind their back and force them to pay them money, right? At the end of the day, they know they're exceptionally good at what they do. So it's not so much about how do we convince this person to buy our stuff. It's like, is this person the right fit? Well, let's make them an offer and let them buy if they're the right fit. Okay. So that's kind of the, the entire process that, that Ian Jenkins uses in order to make $147,000 a month as an online sports coach. Okay. I'm pretty sure that they're actually going to do a $200,000 a month here in the next couple of months, because they're really just getting started, and they're really starting to identify what are the biggest levers for them to continue to move forward. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see some of the other clients that I'm working with that are doing big numbers and me exposing the sales funnel, just leave a comment under this video and let me know that this was helpful for you. Give me a like, subscribe. If you want to learn more about how I can help you and you want to apply to work with me and my team inside of our coaching program, Remote Training University, you can go ahead and check out the link in the description. If you just want to continue to watch these YouTube videos for free, that's 100% cool too. I make these videos to give you guys as much value as I possibly can. And then a select few of you guys that want direct help to go a little bit faster, those you guys are the ones that are going to join our coaching program. So either way, hopefully you guys got a ton of value out of this one, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.